Hello and welcome to Contractor Success Tips. Today's guest is Connelly Hayward with Triumph Homes, Inc.
So can you tell the audience a little bit about your gross sales, gross profit, net profit, sort of your numbers of your company, how many
Well, it's just employees. It's just my wife and I. So we run a very lean and tight ship. We have revenues this year that will be close to $1 million. Last year, I think we had about 500,000. The year before, we had $1 million. And so that's about what we're doing. We're running an average net profit probably around 11-12%.
Okay. Hey, Connor, could you have your wife sort of talk someplace else? Because
Hang on, just a second.
This is part of production, right?
It is. There's life in construction, man.
Life in construction. You're in your living room, and your wife's talking. You're trying to land a big deal. We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Understood.
Sorry about that. She's talking with a client.
That's right.
That's it. In your living room, right? It's like you got to get the priorities straight here. Okay.
Yes.
So, so you made like 110,000, whatever, all in. And how many hours a week are you working?
Well, that depends. It could be anywhere from 30 to 80.
I see.
It just depends where we are in projects.
Okay. Now, if I had a magic wand as a consulting firm here and could do anything for your company, zap, make it happen, what would that be?
It would be to fill our pipeline with prospective custom build customers.
Great.
And what size houses would you like to do?
We would, in our immediate area on the North Shore, we would like to do about 2,500 to 2,800 living area, up to 3,000. Over on the South Shore in the New Orleans area, I guess probably about the same size. So between 2,500 and 3,000 square feet living.
Okay. And what are you doing for marketing now, Connelly?
We have our website and we have word of mouth. I have a few realtors that I work with. One buyer's agent in particular, that when she has a buyer that sees a house and they want to renovate it before they move in, we're top of the list. That's the extent of our marketing. We're not strong in that area.
Okay. So are you coachable, Connelly?
I am very coachable.
Okay. So having done this for 35 years, which makes me an old guy, I've tried about everything. I spent lots of other people's money figuring out what works and doesn't work in marketing. And when it comes to high-end residential, how to get major jobs, high-end residential in your market, I've never seen anything better than architects. I've got some of my clients now working for a while. They're doing 20 million, netting a couple million, and they don't do anything but talk to architects. That's it. So, and they work 30 hours a week. So I assume that's the guy you'd like to be, right?
That's the guy I'd like to be. I've run a $15 million a year company before, and I'd like to get back there again.
Okay. So the key to this, now I have a question. We have kids in the background. Can you hear them? If they are, I can keep them quiet. If not,
No,
okay.
I cannot hear them.
Okay. So, so the key to this, now the problem is they already have a girlfriend and it's not you, right?
Yes.
And the higher the end of the architect, the better relationship with the girlfriend, and the harder it is to break up, right?
Yes.
And, dating at the country club, not the laundromat, right? So we got to find the right people. And so that means you're going to have to find those that are willing to work with you. And you only get one shot at a first impression here, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to start by critiquing your website, okay?
Okay.
So you called me up as an architect, and we'll talk about what you're going to say. I look at your website and go, okay, this is Triumph Homes. About us. So I look at it and I go, well, our mission, can photo, different areas. So far, I'm not too impressed. I go about us, and I look at about us, and I go Triumph Touch. It's a husband and wife team, good-looking people, hair, new construction. I look at your website and I look at new homes, and I'm going, our latest projects, well, those aren't bad. They look okay. Connelly, Aaron, okay. Custom renovations. Look at custom renovations and look down there and I go, well, let's see. They're all canned photos, but it's okay. Now, my first question is this guy doing the homes that I would like to do, right? And I go to your gallery, look at your gallery, and I go, let me see, gallery, blah, blah, blah. Well, first place, I now immediately am unimpressed, right? Because I look at that house going, I wouldn't want to do that house. I look at these other two houses and go, nah, not on my list. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I mean, I'm an architect. I want to design nice houses. And I'm looking at you as a source of business.
Well, and the context, Paul, which is, they're designing, $500,000 houses and above, Connelly. So the question would be, if I came to your website, how are you communicating that you can build what I can design?
Not only that, my first primary interest is what kind of work you're going to give me. I got a girlfriend. I don't need a new one. My only interest in you is what you can give me. All right, that's it. Otherwise, I really don't care. So hold on, I'm on there. Okay. So what I would do is I'm looking at, let's see that. So I'm not impressed.
This is all the same house. This is all. Okay.
So immediately, I'm not interested in you. Why?
Okay, so why?
Because you haven't gotten anything I want, right?
Okay.
When you call me up and say, hi, this is Connelly, I'm going to look at your website and go, nah, I don't think so. So I'm already down because I've not made a good first impression, right? So let me show you a website just for fun that we had one that we designed where we were trying for high-end houses, right? So let me go to our website, which is rcsg.org. And we redesigned this guy's website because he wanted nice houses, okay? So go to our website, and we're going to go to services, we're going to go to website development, and I'm going to go to, down at the bottom here, blah, blah, blah. Is there a portfolio? And I'm going to look at this guy's website we just did. So I'm going to go to CRC Builders, okay? So visit the site. So now I'm an architect, and this guy gives me a call, all right? So I'm going, okay. I look at the website. I look at the video. I'm going, look at the house. I'm impressed, right? Makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
I go, this is a guy I'd like to get work from. And then I go, let's see it's all about the team, right? So then I look at when I go, well, what kind of career, what kind of places does he do? I look at that. And I look at, these are the kind of houses he builds, right? Yeah. So I have way more interest in him than you, right?
Okay.
Here, I'm going to get these kind of houses from him. So I'm interested, right? And then I go to here and I go, he has an architect's page. Let's look at that. I look at the architect's page and it goes, basically, depending on your needs, we always are pleased to recommend an architect designer in your Bay Area project, in this case, New Orleans project. I'm going to go, right? So this guy recommends architects. So immediately I'm off to a way better foot than the other way, right? Because I'm excited, I'm impressed, right? That makes sense?
Makes sense.
So I am willing to meet you merely because I like your website. Does that make so? That's the first thing we're going to have to fix. Because if you look at this website, if you go back to this is website versus your website, no contest, right?
Got it. Yep, I agree.
And let's look at another one. Let's go back to our website, rcsg.org. One more. Okay. And I'm going to look at a website not quite so flashy. We've done the same kind of thing. We go to here, we go to services, we go to website design development, and we're going to go to another one. Let's go to a guy we're looking at, and where is it? Hello. I'm looking for Google. I'm in the right place. Yeah, okay. You are portfolio. Here's a guy who's literally gotten $3 million of the work from his website in the last 4 months we designed. Okay, so you go to this guy. And let's go to Bozak Construction, all right? So let's look at this website, right? I'm looking at him, I'm looking at the portfolio, I'm going, and I go to his portfolio, look at him, and put, it's all in the details. Oh, would I like to do that house? Probably, right? I look at some of the stuff he's done, and I go back to portfolio. So go back to the portfolio here, boom. And I look at another house he's done. Let's look at this one. I look at this one. I'm going, okay, if he does those kind of houses, I should know this guy, right? If you're an architect.
Yeah.
So you understand first the problem with this website versus your website, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we call on architects, we're going to have to fix your website because there's no second chance at a first impression, right? So if they call you and they see this, we're sort of done. At least you wouldn't I wouldn't want to belong to a club that would have me as a member. You remember that joke, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're not in the right club here. So we're going to have to fake it till we make it. Now, here's another question. Okay, so how many multi-million-dollar houses have you built?
Multi-million-dollar houses? None.
Okay, so we have a problem, right?
We have a problem.
So this is what we do. In your house, we call it gallery, which we're safe because we didn't say we actually built it, right?
Okay.
This is the kind of work we are capable of. This is the little shade of gray here, but I'm telling you it works. So we're going to put in your gallery stock photos of homes that you feel you're capable of building and would make sense in your market, right?
Yeah.
And they need to be in New Orleans, that kind of, we're not going to put some of the palm trees in it, right? Like in Florida. And we're not going to put something with a cabin like you build in Denver. We're going to have stock photos of houses that you would like to build, the kind of house you'd like to build in New Orleans. And we're also hopefully going to include like a modern and residential. Like we go to the website we've just done, I'm trying to think here. We show different kinds of homes. So you want to have like maybe a modern house, maybe what do they do in New Orleans, like a traditional house, that kind of thing. Make sense?
Yeah. New Orleans style house is very different than a Mandeville style house. So North Shore and South Shore, we have two very distinctive designs, which would allow us a lot of flexibility for houses.
So we're going to go to house right now, the house website, right? Mm-hmm. And also, you notice that you do need a thing that says architects and designers, like we talked about.
Yeah.
So you need to add that to your website. And we need to make a killer gallery. Now you can have us do it or do it on our own, doesn't really matter. But we need a website that architecture to go, oh my God, where has this guy been all my life, right?
Yeah.
So, the good news is we don't have to buy you a big office, don't have to buy you a big truck, don't have to, compared to things you can be paid to look good.
Yes.
The old days you had to have the right office, the right truck, the right address. Now it's just a cool website, which is way cheaper. So now we're going to go to here. I'm going to go to the screen share. I'm going to go to house. All right. Now we have house. You see house? We on house? Good.
We got house. Okay. We had house.
So let's go to architects and designers. Okay. So going to architects.
We had house. Now we're back on ESOC. So house was up, and there you go. Now it's back.
Oh, okay. So sorry. So we go to house. How do I get that? Let me go to share new screen. Hold on. I got to go to.
No, we see it now. We see the house screen now, Paul.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go just so I don't look like I'm looking. Well, I can look someplace else because I can move my computer around so I can look better. In fact, let me do this really quick.
Well, this is your good side. It works.
I'm good. All right.
There it is.
Computer over here.
There it is.
No, there we go. We good? Okay.
When the client says bye, you don't say anymore.
That's right. We're done. Okay, we're good. Okay, so, and we're looking at this website, which is the help. We look at here and we go, well, here's the cool guy, right? Onset design. Don't you think that looks cool?
Yep.
And so we go to that, and we go to onset design. We look at his website, and we go, okay, I like that. I would like to build. You'd like to build those houses, right?
Yes. Yes, I would.
And then we go to his website. We click on his website, and go to his website, and nice website, inner website, boom. And we go. Nice. And this is the New Orleans style home, right? I assume.
Yep. Yeah, that style would actually work on both the South Shore and North Shore.
Okay, so we go to his stuff. We look there. We go to. Let's go back to his design. Let's see, design. How do I custom? So where am I? Go to. And I don't know their website. Why don't I get more stuff on his website?
It's very navigable website.
No, I'm going. This guy, he needs our help. His website sucks. What? There's no place to go. Okay, we're going something else. So I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
All
right.
I think we can find a better example.
There's a menu.
A point
header
is when you're on House, there'll be a phone number that says "Contact me." Don't do that because that goes to House. Always go to their website because then you're going to their website. It's their direct contact information. So go to their website. That'll give you a bigger portfolio, a bigger gallery. You'll be contacting them. If you want to reach them, you can contact them directly.
So I would go to Albert Architecture. That's a nice house, right?
That's a nice house.
Albert Architecture. We go to this place, boom, and we look at the, they do nice stuff, right? There's definitely New Orleans home, right? I love that.
That's a multi-million-dollar house right there.
I like that. So this guy, he's on my list. I want to date this guy. I'm not. I go to the website. Check out the website here. Oh, nice, nicely done. Blah blah blah. Work. So I'm going to go to his work, and I'm going to see what he does. So we got commercial, mixed use, residential healthcare. Now he may be too big because you don't start out dating supermodels, right? I look at his residential work. But, nice stuff. And I'm going to go to his office. I'm going to put to the team, right? Go to the team. And how many people? Oh, you're not going to go there. No offense, but they'll not take you seriously, right? So this is too big a firm so far. Now, you can eventually get there, but not now.
Not yet.
Don't want to start off dating supermodels because it will not work. Okay, so let's go back here. We're going to try to find somebody else. Let me go back to Albert. How about this guy? Now, the good news is showing two people. Archer Domenica. Let's try those guys. Go to Archer Domenica. Go to their website. Okay, they do nice stuff. Typical job costs $50,000 to $2 million. Blah blah blah. The good news, if it shows a couple, that's a good sign, finally, because that means we don't have like 30 people as a staff. You want to start off with architects that have 1, 2, or max 3 people.
Got it.
Because they won't take you seriously otherwise. You'll be way too small a fish. So if we go to their website, let's click on their website. Thinking about possibilities, blah, blah, blah. That all looks good. Let's go to, where's team? 1, 2. Oh, that's good. It's a couple, right?
Yeah. It's like a husband-wife team.
Husband and wife team. So those people are approachable. So you're going to call Ronald Aguirre on the phone, right? You're going to say, Ronald, I was looking at your work. I was very impressed with your website, and I would like to meet you. Now, the question is, do we have any bait? Do you have any houses at all that you need, a potential house, a spec, anything that you could send to an architect?
Well, we got the houses we just completed in Araby.
I need something that needs an architect to design it. Do you have anything like that?
That needs an architect to design it. I've got a half dozen lots that I'm ready to build on.
Perfect. Okay, so we need a guy to design your subdivision, right? I'm going to call it subdivision. Okay. So you come in and say, I'm looking for an architect to design 6 or 7 houses on my subdivision. Oh, right, they're interested. They did look at that as major fees. So that's how you're going to get in the door, right? And so your mission is to make this phone call and have a meeting with this architect, right? That's the first meeting. Now, unfortunately, having done this for years, it's going to take 5 to 6 meetings before you're going to win them over because they already have a girlfriend and it's not you, and they're not going to send you anything off the bat. So, we can discuss this later, but you're going to have to, what do you do with the first meeting, second meeting, third meeting, fourth meeting? It's going to give or take 4, 5, 6 meetings and a year to win this guy over. Now, the biggest problem we have with contractors is no patience, right? They're used to instant gratification. Now, obviously, if the first cigarette you smoke killed you, or the first, piece of apple pie, you gain 10 pounds. We would not have a problem with eating and smoking, but it doesn't, right?
Right.
So like software companies, they'll dump 3 million in before they see a nickel and be fine with it. Contractors, if they spend more than 5 hours doing something, don't see any results, they're pissed. They go.
I come from a broad business background, so I'm very familiar with timelines and
why am I wasting my time? So this is going to take patience. That's why we tend to work with contractors over a period of time, because they just give up too quick, right? They don't persist. So one, we're going to have to change your website, and two, we're going to have to develop a pitch, and then you're going to have to hang in there over time. But this is the best way I know to get you from $1 million to like 10 million. That make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. Any questions so far?
Not at the moment. No. Learning.
So that's sort of the down and dirty how to get from 1 to 10 million in a nutshell. Now, I'd like you to share with our audience, what you've learned. You've had a couple companies. You're sort of serial entrepreneur. You've done some development. What would you like to share with our audience? What are the key things you've learned after being in construction as long as you've been?
I think the key thing is to value people. And that's not necessarily just people on your team, but everyone that you work with. One of my mottos I always had in business, I want to be my vendor's best customer. And I want to treat my employees and my subs with respect and dignity. And how can I make their life better? What can I do to make their job better? So that's when you invest in people, then everything gets better.
Well, and I would agree with you. Most contractors don't understand that their job is to create a vision and build a team to pull it off. I mean, Elon Musk understands that. A few other people have done well to understand that. But most contractors think, I'll save money by doing it myself. And they look at whether it's recruiting or marketing or anything like that as an expense instead of an investment. Where if you can get that you're a marketing company that funds their marketing with products and services, you're way ahead of 99% of the contractors. Think that marketing is just a bad thing you do when you run out of work. Okay?
Yep, got it.
Cool. Okay, so David, do you have any more comments?
I do. It's a client, can't hire you, Connelly, until they trust you.
Yes.
And so really your sales process is hopefully, they come from a referral, they come from a family friend. But honestly, you may have all the skill in the world, but until they trust you, they can't hire you. And I'm making this comparison to architects. Is, their reputation, they get paid to draw, and they desperately need someone who can produce their work and do it the right way to make them look good. So when Paul mentioned it takes time, it can take 4, 5, 6 meetings. You might go to one of their job sites. They might come to one of your job sites. You'll discover, just like with your son, you work with those people you like. And so I'm guessing when you think of some of your tradespeople, you'd go out and have a beer with them. You'd have dinner. You like these guys. All right?
Yeah.
You've got a relationship. That's what we're talking about with an architect, is it could take 4, 5, 6 meetings, and you'll get to know each other. And said, they've got a girlfriend. It's not you. But at some point, if we follow up in a professional fashion, then $150,000 kitchen, a small addition is going to come up, and their guy is busy. But because of the relationships, I say, wait a minute, let me call Connelly about this. It just takes
backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Always
and hopefully, that's a great analogy. Yeah,
so
great
now,
analogy.
Finally, here's a question for you. If you want to build your business to 10 million from where you are, who is your client?
My client is what I like to call the picky person. My client is someone who kind of has a vision for what they want, but they're really not sure. They need someone to help them form exactly what that looks like. And they they want some very specific and unique things. They don't want anything cookie cutter. They don't want run of the mill, and they want maybe a different perspective to help guide them into designing the house that flows well for them, and they're willing to spend $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 on a house.
Well, and that's not but that was sort of a trick question, because if you can shift your emphasis to where your client is the architect and it's not the end user, that's a huge shift, right?
Yeah.
So you gear your marketing, you gear everything toward your client being the architect. Because if you get an architect to client, that's the gift that keeps on giving, right? If you have a client, it's a one-shot. So if you organize your marketing strategy so that your client is the architect, and the good news, you only need like 8 and you're done for life. I mean, I've got a guy doing 20 million. I think he has maybe 15 architects refer to him. The average architect's worth at least $1 million a year. And so if we do the math on this, what is your time worth? Simply, let's say that the average architect is worth $1 million a year. That's pretty much found out. Okay, it's $1 million a year. Your gross margin is what, 15%, right? Normally?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's 15% of $1 million? 150,000, right?
150,000. Yeah.
Okay, you got 150,000. Let's say they're good for 5 years, right? What's 5 times 150? That's 750, right?
So 750. Yeah.
750,000. All right. There's 750,000 gross profit, right? And let's say you take home, I don't know, half of that. That's give or take 300,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many hours do you think it's going to take to win one of these architects over? Take a guess. Be liberal.
Like, so hours spent with them?
Hours spent calling them, hanging in there, architects that don't work, all in, you get one architect.
50 hours?
Okay, let's double it. Let's say it's 100 an hour, right? I mean, let's say it's 100 hours. It won't take that long. It's 100 hours. Okay, so this is math, Connelly. If you can make $300,000 in 100 hours, how much is that per hour?
That's now so you're going with simple math. You're throwing me off. All right, so it's 300,000 per year, and putting in 100 hours. It's $3,000 an hour.
Okay. Now, Connelly, if I said, "Here's the deal," I feel like Biden, right? So here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Let's say that I was going to pay you $3,000 an hour. I'll write you a check. And for the next month, I'm going to write you a check. You just turn in your time card. How many hours you spend with architects, I'm going to write you a check for $3,000 for every hour you spend with architects. How many hours do you spend with architects?
I would spend a lot of time with architects. I'd spend all my time with architects.
Unfortunately, this comes to the delayed gratification part, right?
Yes.
Because you'll get the $3,000 an hour. I have the math and the 30-year track record to prove it, but you're not going to get it tomorrow, right? So the problem is you have in your brain to consider you're getting $3,000 an hour for every hour you're meeting and pursuing architects, and treat it that valuably. Make sense?
Makes sense.
But that's really where a lot of contractors have a problem. They go, look, I spent 10 hours with this guy and I got a nickel. It's a waste of time. I'm giving my time away. They don't get it. All right? So $3,000 an hour. Okay, Dave, I think we're about done. You have anything to add?
No, it makes sense though, doesn't it, Connelly?
Yes, it does.
It's patience. And the first meeting leads to a second meeting. And I guess I'd add one more thing, Paul. At the end of the meeting, whether it's the first, second, or third, it's always your responsibility to set the next appointment. So let's say we've met at your office, and I'm going to say, let me go look at one of your job sites. It's going to be great in that time. The last thing you want is an architect saying, Connelly, this looks good, I'll get back with you. No, we've given up our ability to manage if we're waiting for a call back.
Right.
So at the end of every call, I'm saying, tell you what, let's say, it's okay, there's no rush. How about next Wednesday? So at the end of every appointment, you take responsibility for confirming when you're going to talk next. Now you're back in the driver's seat.
You keep closing, even if it's the fifth close. Because to use a dating analogy, let's say you meet a girl that you date her, and she gives you her number and says, I'll call you, right? And you're done. Now, she doesn't call you. Now, you call her and you get voicemail, right? And then you go, should I call her again or not? And now you have this horrible decision. Am I bugging her? Am I not bugging her? Does she like me? Does she not like me? And you're going to do through hours and hours of mental anguish trying to make that next call, or you don't know. It's horrible, right?
Yeah.
And so you're in there in limbo, just trying to figure out, I don't want to bug him, but I want to call him. And it's horrible. So you can solve all that by never leaving a meeting without the next meeting.
Got it.
It's never easier to do than that moment. You can always change it later. But if you don't leave a meeting without the next meeting, you're going to be in purgatory or hell waiting for them to call you. And it's just really bad. Okay? So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Okay.
And it's the same thing with your clients. You know, the homeowners you're working with, Connelly?
Yeah.
Gosh, this looks good, Connelly. Let's look at this. I'll get back to you. You say, you know, I understand. Tell you what, let's talk Thursday and let's circle back. If I'm rushed, I'm going to say, that's a tad soon. You're going to say, that's fine. How about the following Monday? But as Paul just said, I mean, you want to set that time and date because you're driving. Every time we leave with that set time, you're empowered. You know what's happening next.
So let's make a rule that if you don't leave without the next meeting, you can just kiss that client or architect goodbye forever. And if you know that, you'll go through whatever mental anguish it takes and possible rejection to close enough times to get that appointment, because it's never going to be easier than at that moment, ever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All I can say is, hey, let's make it further. Let's make it longer. No, that day doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
All they can say is no.
Right.
Yeah.
Never leave meeting out the next meeting, and you usually can always pull that off.
Yeah.
If you can't, you don't have the relationship. Cool.
Got it.
Okay. Well, Connelly, thank you very much for participating in this, and really appreciate it. We will get this out to all those other contractors around the country that can relate to you and your issues. And thank you very much for being a guest on the show.
Oh, thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Connelly, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
All right.